Okay, we're here with Mr. and Mrs. Pritchett. Thank you for coming on and telling your story about what happened in an incident involving the Rochester, New York Police Department. This was
Yes.
Thursday night. Can you explain to me what happened on Thursday night?
Thursday evening, we went over we went over together so he could, calm his children down. He's got, four children, older children, his three daughters. The daughter, his baby daughter, that's the house that we went to, which was over on Weaver Street. We got there. His middle daughter was there walking up. When we walked up, we weren't even out of the car 3 minutes, and they just rushed my husband. They just rushed him. They rushed him. They pushed everybody else back.
You mean the RPD
The
officers?
RPD officers. They rushed him. They kind of like surrounded him, and the probation officer that was assisting them, which we later found out, he was assisting them. He just kind of came full force and just tried to slam my husband, but it just kind of came from the side, so he kind of couldn't take him down. It just was kind of he just bounced off of him in a sense, and the officers just came and just swarmed, attacked, started hitting him with the baton on his legs, just kneeing him in his face, trying to, had him down with they were choking him at first. And now in the meantime of all of this, there were two officers on the outside saying get back, get back, using profanity, these MFers are, it's just too much. He was calling some of the females out there the B word, do you want to go to jail, putting the guns in their faces. Now I'm calm, in a sense, I'm crying, but I'm calm. So when I finally see them get him on the ground, they finally got him on the ground, down on his face. He went down hard. It was just six of them, and he just went down. And they just started punching, kicking, kneeing. One was even reaching over with the baton over the whole crowd, just hitting, and just
Over the other officers.
over the other officers. One of the female officers even got tased in the whole thing. So as he's down on the ground for maybe 3 minutes at this time. The probation officer that was assisting him started tasing him, out of nowhere, and I lost it. I mean, I really started screaming, and next thing I know, I was on the ground, knee in my back. Calm down, you need to calm down, you need to get your family and get out of here. You need to and I'm screaming, he has a heart condition, you're gonna kill him, he's down, what are you doing? And I just kept screaming that, and my husband the whole time he's saying, I didn't do nothing, I'm down, I didn't do nothing. And
How many would you say, would you estimate how many RPD officers were there? And I'm sorry, this was on Weaver Street, right?
Weaver Street, yes.
Okay. Weaver is on the northeast side? Off of Joseph.
Yeah.
How many officers would you say there were?
Around just him alone, it was at least 10 to 15, but from, they were kind of going back and forth, 6 and 7 at a time, trying to get on top of the crowd. It looked like something out of a cartoon. They looked so untrained and just so unprofessional. They were literally piling on top of each other. And one of their officers was almost at the bottom. I mean, they were piled on top of each other, pushing their weight down on him. And in that pile, they were reaching, punching, kneeing. That's the thing that sticks out to me the most, is how they had his face and just was kneeing him in his face, kneeing him, and then he turned his face and tried to cover his face, just because I'm assuming he started feeling those blows at that time. They had his back leg, one had one leg, the other had the other leg, bending his legs up in the air, had his neck twisting it, bending it. He's got his whole chest area is bruised up just from that alone. His shoulders, they were just so unprofessional, not only with him on the ground, but just with the crowd control. It's they showed up to that incident and made it worse. They made it worse. They were very nasty. One of the officers said to his oldest daughter, because she was saying, you didn't have to beat my dad like that. And she told him, I want your name. And he said, you can get my name. You can have my name. I kill people and get away with it.
Do you remember what that officer looked like?
his daughter would know exactly. It was just such a blur because, like I said, they were like so unprofessional. One would come from this side, like pushing, saying like, get, go home, get your family and go home. And my concern at that time, being calm, I had calmed down after apparently I was on the ground with a knee in my back. I need, I'm like, what's gonna happen to my husband? They finally pulled him up off the ground. He couldn't see out of neither eye. He had blood running down his face, and they wouldn't even let me really like talk to him. And I was telling them, he was still saying, I didn't do nothing. Why did y'all do that? I didn't. And they're like, we're gonna get him to the hospital and get him checked out. They just threw him in the back of the police car. Kept saying, you're gonna go to jail. Like they were just with the B word, the MFer, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Put the gun in several people's face, like unarmed people that were just crying. To them, crying